Unlike companies like Shimano, Daiwa, Abu Garcia, companies we've known and loved for a long time, Kastking is a relatively new company, starting in about 2013. Since their start, they now make spinning reels, baitcast reels, rods, line, tackle, tools, whole bunch of different stuff. But today, we're going to be talking about the Kastking Sharky. Is it a good reel for 55 bucks? Find out in today's video. All right, first let's go over the specs on this bad boy right here. So the one I have here in my hand, this is the 2000 size. This is the KRL-SPN SH3-S20BK. So this one right here, like I said, the 2000 size, it has 10+1 bearings. The drag is 33 pounds. The weight is coming in at about 9 ounces. The gear ratio is 5.2 to 1. The line capacity is 6 pound 220 yards, 8 pound 190 yards, and the MSRP is coming in at about 55 bucks. As for special features that they market with this reel, the first big one is what they call the KISS, which is the Kastking Intrusion Shield System. Basically, that is their way that they seal inside for saltwater and dirt and all bunch of different stuff. They've also got saltwater rated bearings, so the 10+1 bearings are all saltwater rated, which is pretty cool for a $55 reel. And then the last one is they also have carbon fiber drag in there, not those felt drag washers. As for versatility, that is where this reel really shines. I mean, I could see you using this for, inshore saltwater use. I could see you using this for bass fishing, catfishing, bluegill, panfish. Like, there's a lot of applications that you could use this reel for. It is a little bit on the heavier side, coming in at about 9 ounces. There is some reels that you could get probably in that 6 to 7 range, but for 55 bucks, or having a reel that can do all of it like that, especially if you're just wanting, if you're a beginner fisherman, you're just wanting one reel that you can just go and kind of do a lot of different things, this would be a great option for you, especially anyone that lives in like Florida, California, any of those states where, you could be at the ocean one week and then up in the woods the next week, right? Or just pond hopping or doing something freshwater and saltwater. This would be a good all-around reel that could cover a whole lot of different scenarios. That protection system in there is pretty cool to be able to use this for saltwater use. For $55, this is definitely one of the cheaper saltwater rated reels that I've ever done a review on, up there with like the Panfish and maybe some of those other reels in that line. But yeah, that's pretty cool that for 55 bucks, I would still, after an ocean trip, I would still rinse this out with fresh water just in case, just clearing out anything. I do that even with my super expensive reels. I always wash every reel out after each saltwater use. As for looks, I think the red and black looks great. I do like Kastking's logo. It's pretty cool. I like that little the K in there and the little, like the shark kind of head on it. I think that's pretty cool. The red and black itself is really nice. The only thing I'm not a huge fan of is the handle. I don't really like how there's like a hole in between the handle there. It looks kind of, I don't know, just kind of weird in my opinion. I really like the Daiwa and Shimano handles that are just like that super thin, thin handle going up, and I think it helps with feel as well. But other than that, I think the reel looks great. Most of Kastking's stuff is pretty good looking. Like, they don't do anything super crazy or corny with a lot of their stuff. So yeah, I think it looks great. The red and black, it's a cool little setup. As for durability, this thing's a workhorse, man. I mean, this thing is just, even in your hands when you feel it, it definitely feels like a very durable reel, but for 55 bucks, like it feels a lot nicer than 55 bucks in terms of durability. Like, I would have no problem going for striped bass with this, bigger catfish if you bought one of the larger sizes. I believe they have up to a 5,000 size. So, you could easily use the 5,000 for, small sharks and stuff like that, or sturgeon, big catfish. Like, there's a lot you could do with that, and I really think this reel would hold up super well for you. It just feels really durable. It feels like it's made with really good parts. Like, a lot of it is metal or a very tough plastic. So yeah, I think overall durability, I think this thing's gonna last you for a long time. This is also a good setup as well if you've got a buddy that you're just trying to get out on some fish, to pair him up with. That way you don't have to worry about him using your really nice stuff or your favorite reel or whatever, right? But then he can use this, and he's still getting something decent to go and use, but it's also something durable, right? So this would also be a great one for kids as well. If there's a kid in your life that's known for trashing his things, this would be a really good one to get him because this thing is very durable. As for feel on these guys, there's nothing in particular that stands out to me. You know, it is a $55 reel. It's not going to feel like a Shimano Stradic or a Daiwa Tatula, right? It's not going to feel like one of those, but it feels great for 55 bucks. I could easily use this all day, no issues. The one thing I don't like is I'm not a huge fan of the foam handle on this one. I prefer the rounded handles, kind of like the Shimano and the Daiwas are kind of that rounded out pieces in here instead of those like kind of blocky foam parts that this one has. Not a huge deal, right? That's not a deal breaker for me, but I do think it's a little more comfortable to use all day. But overall, yeah, I mean, it feels great for 55 bucks. It feels really nice. As for casting, I say this on most of the spinning reels for the casting portion of these reviews. It casts great, just make sure your line is filled up to the top. For instance, this one right here is gonna need a change soon. There is not a lot of line on this thing, so just making sure that line is filled up to the top, not over that edge, but just to the top. That way it's shooting off the reel and there's no friction from it hitting that side. That's how you're gonna get your best cast. But other than that, cast great. As for price, if this was a $55 reel and it was not sealed, didn't have the carbon drag washers, and it was just a freshwater reel, I would be like, yeah, you know, it's an okay reel. It's pretty cool for 55 bucks. But the fact that it is sealed and ready for saltwater use at 55 bucks is pretty dang cool. The fact that you can do both with this for that price range is awesome. I mean, Kastking, to be successful in the fishing reel industry, like, you've got to have something that stands out a little bit. Either that or you just have to be a long time company, you know, you've been around for a while, your name is known. But being that Kastking is a new company, they've got to do some things to stand out here if they want to get recognition and make it in the industry. So dropping $55 saltwater reels with a bunch of good features, yeah, that's how you're going to stand out. I'm really happy that they priced this at the spot it is. Hopefully that puts a little more pressure on Shimano and some other companies to make some really good mid-budget saltwater reels, because those seem to be pretty popular at most tackle shops that I've worked at. So yeah, for price, I think that's awesome, especially at 10+1 bearings for 55 bucks. That's insane. And 33-pound drag. That's a lot for a $55 reel. That's a lot of technology in there. So yeah, price, I think it's priced awesome. Okay, let's go over the pros and cons of this reel here real quick. First of all, the drag. 33 pounds of drag. That is awesome. I believe the 5000 has like 40 or it's like 39 pounds. So that thing's holding down, man. That's an awesome drag. It is also sealed for saltwater. That is a great feature for the price. I like the carbon fiber drag washers in there is really cool too. In the price, I mean, goodness, 55 bucks. That is a steal for the amount of features you're getting on this reel. As for cons, the main two were I didn't like the handle and I didn't like the handle knob. I think if both of those were to be changed to more of like a Daiwa style handle, you know, I think this would become a favorite of mine, you know, to have in my lineup. This would be a really, really cool little reel. But other than that, it's still a great reel despite the two minor little cosmetic changes in there. As for rating, I am giving this a 9 out of 10. I think this is an awesome product for the money, especially 55 bucks. Even if this was 75, I still think this would be somewhere between an 8 to a 9 out of 10 just because of those features in there. There's a lot of reels more expensive than this that don't have carbon fiber drag washers inside. So I think that's pretty cool. If you guys want to see a rod that would pair up awesome with this, I will put that right here. If you guys wanted to see another reel kind of like this one, I will put that right here. Hope you guys got a kick out of today's episode. Hope you guys learned something. See you guys next time on Humbug Videos.